The speech is called A Rating Agency for Microfinance.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to start by a small clarification. I do not hate women whatsoever. It just so happens that you are all evil. Not my fault. Before we go into further detail, I would also like to express my apologies for not being here for the past 2 weeks. I had a very busy schedule, and last week, good announcement, we did the competition, which we won, which is why I couldn't be here tonight, last night. Tonight I'm going to discuss a new business project that I want to undertake within the MBA program. It's a business plan. 6 months ago, I believe, when I started Toastmasters, I did my second speech on microfinance, and it was an introduction to the microfinance world. So I will start by reiterating a few points of that speech, and then I will move onwards to speaking about rating agencies, which is also a little bit complex, and then why microfinance needs a rating agency. So let us start with microfinance itself. Microfinance is a $25 billion business around the world, and that's only in loans, which means all money that is lent is not all, there's more money available than what is lent, actually. There is a forecast that it will grow up to $250 billion in 10 years to be able to suppress completely the poorest population on Earth. Now, but who are the poor? Very important point to take into account. The American Association for Suppression of Poverty in the US describes it as being $30 per day. But UNESCO, for example, goes all the way down to $1 per day in some countries. So there is some diversification of what is poverty around the world, which is something that microfinance needs to address. Who is poor? Microfinance is basically small banks giving small loans to the poorest. Loans can go up from $30 all the way up to $30,000, but that's in extremely rare cases. For example, Kiva, which is a website where you can lend for projects all around the world, where you can usually lend $60 to $70 or even $20 if you want for projects that are up to $2,000 to $3,000 in total. I have a prediction. I believe that microfinance is a bit all over the place because it's nearly brand new. It's only 50 years old, I'm sorry. And I believe that this industry will at some point conglomerate, which creates the need for those conglomerates to be assessed in the best way possible, especially financially, to make sure that they don't fall apart as they come together. Loans in microfinance answer 4 main areas. The first one is life cycle needs of the poor. They need just to be able to live everyday life, go buy some groceries, for example. Personal emergencies, if they have to go to the hospital. Disasters, you never know. You can be in Bangladesh and suddenly a building falls down and we have 200 or even more than that, nearly 1,000 dead. This is also one of the cases where microfinance will come and help the families. We'll also talk about investment opportunities. Some people are poor but want to create a business. For example, in an African country, they want to start a fishery, then they will need funds, and microfinance comes here to help them. The last one is very important. It is going against loan sharks. This is very important because loan sharks are very dangerous, and they can go up to 100% rate of borrowing in some countries. So they will ask for the full amount and more to be back within 1 month. For the poorest, this is nearly impossible. The 2 biggest regional markets are East Asia and Pacific, and also Latin America. But we also talk about North America, which is a big market, and Europe. It is not because you're in a northern country that people are poor. Keep that in mind. Today, we have 94 million borrowers, which is a very big amount considering 25 billion in loans given. And the market sees 30 to 40% growth yearly, which is very impressive. Microfinance institutions are very small groups, and they are so small that rating agencies do not even care to look at them. They don't rate them. They don't give an assessment of how powerful they The three biggest rating agencies you may have heard of are Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch Ratings. The three of them are American, of course. They are pro-cyclical in nature. This is very pro-cyclical in nature. This is very dangerous for microfinance. What it means is that usually a firm goes bad, the rating agency comes in and says, oh look, this firm is going bad, let's downgrade them from an A to a B basically. And then investors say, oh, that firm has gone from an A to a B, I'm going to sell the stocks I have. And then it goes down and goes down and goes down. Rating agency for microfinance, which is the business plan I want to propose, need to be based on something more flexible, more fluid, like social media, for example. Being able to communicate all around the world to very, very small institutions who give loans, which give loans to the poorest people. When doing so, they need to be able to think about the relationship and networks they want to build with them. They need to be able to assess the social impact of the microfinance institution, not just its financial stability, because the aim of microfinance is to suppress poverty. So this is very key to take into account. Some people, because of loan sharks, commit suicides. So we need to make sure that microfinance goes actually against this also. There is another issue that is image versus reality. Microfinance institutions are very beautiful from the outside. They need to be assessed from the inside to make sure that they don't make poor choices. We need to assess their stability and growth, and we also need to assess their financial stability. Rating agencies are so big that I personally want to create a small one that would be based on social media to be able to access them anywhere around the world, because even in the poorest country they have access to the internet. This is the key aspect of the business model I want to propose, and as I've mentioned, the market itself is expanding really, really fast. Thank you for your attention.